Welcome to The Asshole Podcast. Let's get into it. All right, previously we did what men are not ready to hear. So now we're going to flip it, and what are women not ready to hear? So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, we have, diamonds are a huge scam and a waste of money, and expecting your man to drop tens of thousands of dollars on an engagement and or wedding ring each is vain and selfish as fuck. You know, he is so true on that, because for me, I understand that the reason why women want, say like a flashy, gaudy ring is because when you have to understand, when two women get together, the first thing that they see is if the woman is married. And when they see the ring, that's probably the first thing they compliment a lot of times. Because obviously for men, when two men meet, they ask, hey, it's a battle of who's got the better job, but for women, it's just like, are you married? And so I can, to a degree, I can understand having like a big ass gaudy ring could be, like the thing or whatever. But if I'm being honest with you, it is a huge waste of money, because if I'm being honest with you, there's a lot of companies that do really nice engagement rings, really nice wedding bands for women, and they don't break the bank. They don't. And honestly, having real diamonds is so fucking overrated, because the moment you purchase that diamond, say you purchase the diamond for, $1,200, the moment it leaves the store, the diamond's worth $200 now. It's lost its value immensely right then and there. And it just makes no sense. There's just no point in doing it. So that's why I kind of agree with him on that. There's just too many companies out there that make really nice engagement rings for a fraction of the price. I mean, you could pay $300-$400 for a really nice engagement ring. So, let's see. You need to think of where you want to eat, because I will literally eat last week's Subway sandwich that's in the fridge. I saw a TikTok, okay, of this girl, and she was like, I want to know, when men ask women what they want to eat, and we turn the question back on you and you say, I don't care, do you actually really not care? We actually do not care. We're asking you because we know that if we go to where we want to go, you're going to fucking complain. And we just don't want to deal with that. We don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that. Next man don't want to deal with that. So on and so forth. I think every guy on planet Earth would agree with me and be like, yeah, the only reason why I ask my girl where she wants to eat is because if I go where I want to go, she's going to fucking complain. I already know it. Most definitely. Yeah, no. I'm with it on that one. Yeah, I'm with it on that one, because, man, I'm with him. I'd fucking eat leftover Subway, too. The fuck? Let's see. This morning, I informed my wife that our daughter's car needs new brakes and has a leaky power steering pump. She was not ready to hear that. Okay. I mean, car stuff should be taken care of by the dude anyway. Like, what the fuck are you asking your girl for? Like, nigga, what are you doing? Stop. He said, this will get lost, but I don't control whether my penis is hard. Sometimes my brain is very happy looking at you and my dick doesn't work. It's a penis. It's not a divine judgment of your hotness. Stop getting mad / crying when it doesn't happen. It makes both of us feel like shit and neither of us deserve it. Yo, sometimes being a man is a struggle. All right. Sometimes being a man is a struggle for just all the wrong reasons. We could think our girl is fine as fuck. Like, she could be wearing the cutest little outfit, whatever. She could be looking sexy and whatnot. And sometimes the penis just doesn't get hard. And sometimes we're just like, come on, little buddy. Wake up. I'm ready. I'm ready. She's ready. Why aren't you ready? What's going on? You know? And a lot of times, like you can equate it to, a lot of like prawn usage and, that corn, and so it could desensitize you and stuff like that. But sometimes it's one of those things where, you've been working a lot, of hours, whatever the case may be. And so then you haven't had time, to have a yank, whatever. And your girl's over there and you're just like, ooh, man, she's looking fine, but your penis is just not working. It's just like, come on, man, wake up, So it happens. And I think women should just kind of calm down, tie their hair back, get on their knees and get to work. No, I'm just fucking playing with you. But I mean, I at the same time, it's like, if it's not getting hard, like, ladies, do a little something, a little bit, shit, like, damn. Like, I got it, like in the previous episode I was talking about, when we were talking about foreplay, it was one of those things where it's like, yeah, she said if a girl is like moving her hips or whatever, it doesn't mean move with her, like stay right there. But sometimes your fucking hand be cramping up. Like, if we got to go through that, the least you could do is a little something to get the blood flowing, get the penis going. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. It's like, come on now. And we can't talk to little buddy down there. I wish we could. That'd be amazing. Let's see. The dude that cheated on you earlier this year isn't going to wake up and change tomorrow. Oh, damn. Ooh. Yeah, see, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. See, yeah, this is a bit of a tough pill for a lot of women to swallow. But it's like, you got to stop trying to change a dude. You know what I mean? You got to stop trying to change a guy. He ain't ever going to change. And the guys that do change, a lot of times they change into what you don't want them to be or what you think you want them to be. And a lot of times you kind of just like, oh, fuck, I changed him into a loser. Like, what the fuck, Because a lot of guys be out here, sacrificing job opportunities, and they sacrifice, ability, the ability to make more money or getting a different job, this and that, transitioning into something better. And they do all this stuff because they think like, oh, I don't want to lose my girl, so I'm not going to change to be a better man or whatever. And this goes along with the whole aspect of like cheating and him seeing other women. It's one of those things where it's like, for me, I look at it like, if it's a guy that you love, respect, and admire, and it's something that you look at it like, I want to be with this guy, it is what it is, and say he does cheat, have a conversation with him. And if it's something where, you guys can kind of compromise it and get over it, great. But if it's something where it gets to a point where you just can't do it anymore, baby girl, you gotta go. You gotta simply just go. So yeah, because I mean, bro ain't gonna change. You could talk to him all you want and this and that. It's usually within like that first time that he cheats, you can kind of have a conversation with him and be like, all right, look, what's going on? Let's figure this out. And that kind of sets the precedent of it. But if it's one of those things where, you have the conversation and then he's still doing it, it's just like, ooh, you're kind of shit out of luck, and it's at that point kind of time to go. A lot of women will, I don't want to say accept it, but tolerate it. If dude's got a lot of money, or, if she doesn't work and she's being kind of taken care of and they have kids and stuff like that, then they'll kind of tolerate or whatever. But those are rare cases. Let's be honest. Those are rare cases. Let's see. If you start talking about your problems, we need to know if you want us to just listen or if you want advice. If something is wrong or broken, my first instinct is to try to help and fix it. Okay. That's great. And it sounds amazing on paper. Oh, it does. And I wish it was that simple. I wish women would tell us just, oh, babe, just listen. I got some problems going on. They're not. They just won't. Sometimes they will, but not all the time. And that's why what you need to do is always listen first. It's the easiest thing to do. Just listen first. And if you do that, if you listen first, and then, if she wants some solutions, if she's like, oh, what should I do? Or, babe, how can I fix this? How can I make it better? Then you try to fix it, because that's her asking without asking for you to fix it. But if she doesn't ask those things, shut the fuck up and just listen. That's why I always like to tell guys, just listen first. Just listen. Don't say anything. Don't react. Don't do nothing. Just listen. That's it. And then if she comes with the whole, what could I do and how can I make it better, then you try to fix it, because that's her way of asking without asking. So, yeah. Like I said, his post, it makes sense on paper. It's amazing. It would be so beautiful if women did that, but they just don't. And you just kind of got to read between the lines, sadly. So, okay, yeah. Do I really have to spell it out for you? Yes, you do. For me, anyway, I don't pick up on subtle hints. Yeah. I think a lot of guys don't, because subtle hints could go in so many directions, which really sucks. And that's the big kicker about subtle hints, is that they can go certain ways. Because there's a lot of girls that I know that are very friendly, flirty, and it's like you can never tell, because they're like, oh my God, you're so funny, and they're touching your shoulder and doing all this kind of stuff, and you know what I mean, they're like super interested with what's going on with you every time they see you. Oh, how was this and how was that, and blah blah blah, and you're just thinking like, yo, she is fucking interested in me, she wants the dick, and you're thinking like, this is great. And then you kind of develop feelings for her, and then she's just like, oh shit, I'm sorry, we're just friends. I can't stand the subtle hints a lot of times. A lot of times I feel like it's one of those things where you need to get her one-on-one. You need to get her into a place where it's just you and her. It's an environment where it feels like a date, but it ain't really a date, and then see how she acts. Guarantee you those subtle hints will go away. And if they don't, that doesn't mean she likes you. To a degree. I wouldn't say you're fully in there, but to a degree, she likes you. She's like, okay, I like this. This is cool. I think she's still feeling it out, seeing like what's going on. But that's what I think. I think it's with subtle hints. Get that girl by herself. Just you and her. And once you get you and her, I think it's going to be a better situation. You'll kind of be able to see the true nature and kind of intentions. Because like I said, the subtle hint thing is annoying and it kind of sucks. And a lot of times you can't really be the guy to tell her you have feelings for her. Like, that's the biggest L you could probably do with a lot of girls, is telling her that you have feelings for her. Because the best way to do it is to kind of just show you have feelings for her. Because if you show you have feelings for her and then she reciprocates those feelings, even if it like in a small way, it is a W, because then it's like, okay, at least she's showing it in a small way and she's somewhat interested. She's somewhat for what we're trying to go for here. So yeah, subtle hints fucking suck. Why is it that we haven't been ready for an hour and a half now? Okay. Look, I think a lot of guys, especially guys who are married or have been in a relationship for a long time, we know that it's going to take you 3 hours to get ready. We already know that. And it's going to take us 20 minutes to get ready. So when a girl comes to us, or when our significant other comes to us talking about, oh, why aren't you ready yet? You haven't been ready for the past hour and a half. Yeah, because I don't want to sit in fucking jeans and a button-up shirt with my shoes on for 2.5 hours while you get ready. No, I want to sit in my fucking t-shirt and my shorts until you're ready, and then it only takes me 20 minutes to get ready, and we're out of the door in less than 30. Like, stop. Like, come on, man. Let's be real here. Like, as a dude, it's like, we don't take that long to get ready. So we're going to get ready after you're done. Because I'm not going to be sitting there uncomfortable in jeans and a fucking button-up shirt or, and a nice shirt and jacket or whatever. And I got to sit on the couch waiting for you. Like, I already want to take these pants off. You know what I mean? Like, man, come on now. All right, let's see. Sometimes we don't want to have sex, even if our dick is hard. Men can say no and fake it too. To a degree, I agree with them. Sometimes, like look at this. Like, a lot of women think that we wake up with boners because we're just horny in the morning. When in reality, and I looked this up and it's super interesting, the reason why guys have erections when we wake up, it's so we don't piss on ourselves. It's just the way it goes. It is. Because when your dick is hard, obviously it's extremely hard to pee. Have you ever tried to pee with a boner? My God. It's like trying to get the last bit of toothpaste out of the fucking tube. That shit's hard as fuck. But that's what it's for. It's so, we don't urinate on ourselves at night. And that's why we wake up with a boner. It's just the way it is. It's scientific. It's just the way it is. I looked it up. You guys can look it up too. It's actually super interesting. And so women always think, oh, he woke up with a boner. He wants to have sex. And a lot of times it's just like, bitch, I'm tired. Like, I don't even want to, not all the time. I would say probably like that rare, maybe 10, 15% of the time we're kind of like, nah, I don't want to. But I mean, let's keep it hundo P. That 85 to 80% time we're like, I mean, if you throwing some Gucci at me, why not? The whole faking it thing, I don't know. I mean, you must have some problems if you out here fake nutting. I mean, okay, if it's a thing where maybe, the girl ain't really all that attractive, you kind of see her and you're like, ooh, she's attractive, but then you kind of get her naked and you're like, ooh, damn, wasn't all it was, but gots to go through with it, my boy. And you go through with it, and you're struggling just to keep your penis hard. It's like, let alone jizz, so it's just like, you're just like, oh, ooh, woo, that was fantastic. Fucking either that or when you're wearing a shit condom and you just can't feel anything and you're just like, that's another thing. I'm sure the guys out there are just like, yes, condoms fucking suck sometimes. Sometimes they're solid. Sometimes it's like, all right, cool, condoms straight. But then other times it's like, I can't feel shit. Yeah, so let's see. Shit. Let's see. This one's a little interesting. My cousin once said to my friend who told me I looked fine that if a woman asks if she looks okay, you should never say fine. Instead, use a word like beautiful or something. I thought it was good advice. Huh. I mean, I've always gotten the whole, like, if you tell a girl that she looks good without makeup, then, it's like, oh, I don't look good with makeup, So I guess that's maybe what they're alluding to with that one. Yeah. Oh, this one's really good. We value time by ourselves a lot. See, that is something that women don't understand, is that a lot of men are very, like, how could I put it? We just love being by ourselves, but not by ourselves. Like we like to hang out with you, but not actually hanging out with you. Like we enjoy doing our thing by ourselves, but you in the same room. You know, a lot of women don't get that. They don't understand that concept. They're like, if I'm in the room and we're not talking or we're not interacting with each other, then why am I there? And it's this and that. And I'm just like, you don't get it. I enjoy having you around. I just don't want to have to talk to you or interact with you. And that's not like a mean thing or a bad thing or anything like that. It's just a simple thing of like, I enjoy being around you, but I don't want to have to talk to you or deal with that. I just want to like focus on whatever it is I'm focusing on, you know? And I think that's why a lot of times girls should like have their own hobbies and their own little things that they should be into. And that way, either that or, you know, enjoy the same hobbies that he does. And then a lot of times he won't really want to be by himself all the time. Like if he's a gamer, you know, maybe try to get into gaming or something like that. I mean, if you suck at it or whatever, just enjoy being able to play with him, because I feel like if you're doing something that he in turn enjoys as well, he won't really feel the need to want to do it by himself, you know, and that's something that a lot of girls know. They, you know what I mean? A lot of girls do that. A lot of women do that. You know, they'll try to do things with their man and stuff because they're like, oh, you know, I want to be a part of it. I want to spend time with him while he's doing the things that he enjoys and shit like that. But if you're the type of girl like, you know, say your guy's a gamer and you're not interested in it at all, a lot of times just leave that nigga alone. You know what I mean? Yeah, just because it's for the best. We enjoy our solitude, even when we're like in the garage and, you know, say your guy's a car guy and he's in the garage just with his car or whatever. It's like, leave that man alone. Leave that man alone. He ain't cheating on you. He ain't doing nothing. You know where he's at. You know? Like, he ain't out doing this and that. Like, you know where he's at. He's just chilling. Leave that man alone. Leave that man alone. I strongly feel for that one. No. Let's see. Why don't you ever talk about your feelings? Because when my feelings are opposed to yours are more important / valid. Yes, this is a really good one. Because when a lot of women say that they want like a vulnerable man. And it sucks because it's like they want a vulnerable man, but it depends on what it is you're vulnerable about. Okay? That's the caveat in it. All right? That's the catch to it. You know, so when a woman is just like, oh, you know, be more vulnerable to me, you have to instinctively know, okay, the catch to being vulnerable with her is what I'm vulnerable about. Because if you're vulnerable about things that are, say, you know, maybe like, you know, financial, or that has to do with your job, or that has to do with any security regarding the relationship, stuff like that. When you're vulnerable about those kind of things, and what I mean by security of the relationship is just like when you're coming to your girl and you're like, oh my God, I always feel like you're going to cheat on me and leave me. Like, I can't handle that. And it stresses me out. Don't. No. Because those kind of things will turn a girl off so fucking fast. Now, are there times you can be vulnerable with a girl? Sure. But like I said, it deeply depends on what it is. And it kind of depends on that girl too. A lot of guys say just don't do it at all. And that way you don't have to worry about it, which I'm kind of for. I look at it like, don't do it at all. Just don't be vulnerable with her at all. And you let her know, hey, look, nah, that's not me. You know, you be stoic to her and, you know, be that kind of strong rock, and then go be vulnerable with your homies, you know, and let them roast you and laugh about it. And then, you know, they kind of be like, all right, man, let's talk about it serious. And so, you know, but if you are gonna be that, I would keep it very minimal, you know. And if she's just like, oh, what's going on? What's wrong? Blah, blah. And just be like, you know, I got some shit going on. I'm going to deal with it though, you know, and it's giving her enough to where it's like, you're being open to what it's about, but you're not giving her any details. You're not giving her any more than that she needs to know, if I'm being honest with you. Yeah. You're not giving her more than she needs to go off of or know, because like I said, she don't need to know all that. She can't help you in your manly problems. She just can't. She can't relate to them at all. So she's no help at all. Sadly, I know a lot of guys sit there and they want to, open up to their girl and do all this and all that, and it's a waste, man. It's a waste. It's a waste of time. And a lot of times, some women will kind of use it against you. If there's a time, like, sure, in the moment she's like, oh, it's okay, and da-da-da. And then when she's mad at you and you guys get into a fight, whatever, then all of a sudden it's turned around on your ass, and it's like, oh, well, you're just the loser that couldn't do this and that, and da-da-da, and you were crying to me. And so, yeah, man. Vulnerability is just, it's not the best. It's just not. Let's see. Oh. Okay. This one, a lot of ladies aren't going to like. Yes, you put on weight. No, I really don't care. You still look good to me. But yes, you put on some weight. There was an episode that I did where this girl, she wrote into the show talking about, she was wondering why her guy still loved her, but was kind of talking to other women. I don't think they were really doing anything. I don't think he was cheating necessarily, but he was just having conversations with other women, and she didn't like that. And I told her on the pod, hey, what you're going to have to understand is that the way a guy can love you and to the ends of the earth, he can love his woman and then, love her and all this kind of stuff. And so, regardless of turmoil, financial situation, all that, guys can just love his woman. But you have to understand at the same time, men are very visual creatures. And so with them being very visual creatures, it's one of those things where you have to understand, when we first met you, you were very visually pleasing. And it's the reason why, we kept talking to you and kept pursuing a relationship and so on and so forth. That the relationship has gotten as far as it's gotten because we like what we see, and you're dressing up, you're getting dolled up, you're doing your hair maybe every month, you're getting your nails done every other week, whatever the case may be. So it's one of those things where it's like, when you're upkeeping your outward appearance, you're keeping your physique right, doing your hair a little big, getting your nails done, wearing cute outfits and stuff like that, us guys take big notice to that, and we love that stuff. But then when you guys get 2 years down the road, a lot of times women will kind of gain some weight. They won't really dress nice as often. They don't really get their hair done to the same degree. They don't really feel like they have to try. And it really sucks because for the guy, we look at it like, I love you and I care about you, but don't get me wrong, it's a little harder to, be attractive to you. Why? Because you're not the same woman. And you can argue this the other way around. Guys will get guts and get fat and beer bellies and, get a dad bod and all this kind of stuff to a degree. And I understand that. But it is more prevalent in women than it is men. Men a lot of times will keep their physique relatively similar to some degree in a long-term relationship. A lot of times for women, physical attractiveness is kind of like the last thing they find attractive with a dude. There's so many other things that they find attractive. A lot of times it really doesn't matter. But for a guy, it absolutely matters because it's like the number one agency for why we're with you, why we continue to be in a relationship with you and stuff like that. It's shallow, it sucks, it's messed up, it's misogynistic, sexist, whatever you want to call it. That's just what it is for guys. And so a lot of times it's like, when you're starting to gain weight and all that kind of stuff, it's like you really gotta take notice on that stuff and really understand, hey, I'm only telling you because I love you, but you're getting fat. So I'm gonna leave that there. But yeah, that's Yeah. The reason guys don't like romance, like movies, books, and the like, is it tends to be something they perform and not receive. The women who realizes this are usually wildly more successful at dating. I want to say that he means like when women watch romance movies or they read romance books and stuff like that, and these guys are doing things to attract the girl. Say, like he's running through the rain to go confess his love to her, or, he's surprising her with a bunch of flowers and a card saying, hey, meet me on the beach and all this kind of stuff. Women love those things in books and characters and movies and stuff like that, but they do not fucking like that shit in real life. Why? I don't know. I really don't. I mean, maybe it's a thing where a lot of guys have done it before, and so maybe that's the reason why. I don't know. I couldn't tell you, because I've been guilty of that. I've been guilty of trying to do, like a romantic movie style gesture, and it doesn't work. They'll be like, they look at it more as like cringy, or they look at it as more of like, oh, this is kind of unnecessary. And it really sucks, because you're like, what the hell? You watch all these movies, you like these books, you like these characters, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of women will sit there and be like, oh my God, I wish I was her, and I wish I could find a guy like that, or guys that do that. But it's like, but then it gets done and they're like, nah, maybe it's the guy that does it. Maybe that's the reason why. Maybe they look at it like if it was the right guy that did it, maybe they would love it. That could be a thing too. I don't know. Because that throws me off so much, because I look at it like, I would think these gestures and kind of going out of your way, if you will. A lot of women like to say that, oh, why'd you go out of your way to do that? You don't have to go out of your way, blah, 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 but it's just like, I would think that a guy kind of going out of his way to do something like that, I think a girl would absolutely love that. I don't know. I just think it's weird that they don't really see it that way. It is what it is, I guess. That's what I'm taking from his post. That's the reason why guys don't really like romance movie, because they look at it like, that shit's fucking fake. Like, if I did that to you, you wouldn't like it, so. Yeah. Exactly. Okay. I was right, because one of them has said, my ex used to tell me the same thing. The crazy part is that she used to get irritated / angry whenever I don't behave like them. Yeah, I was right. And it's true, because it's like, dude, we do these things, but then you find them awkward or embarrassing or going out of your way, and then when we don't do it, it's just kind of like, oh, I wish you were like him, and it's just like, what the fuck. So yeah. Hanging out with my friends without you is healthy, and same goes for her hanging out with her friends. It's good for your mental health. Yeah, okay. This goes back to the previous episode where we talked about, what women don't like to hear. It's the whole going out thing, It is one of those things where it's like, yes, it is good to hang out, with your friends and things like that. It's just, sadly for women, it's all dependent on where you go, sadly. So it's just one of those things where it's like, I would hate for you to go to a bar or club with your friends and stuff like that, because of, long story short, dudes are fucking thirsty and they'll do anything. Even if you do deny them, it could put you in physical harm, to where, he might try to sexually assault you or hit you and stuff like that. So, but at the same time, for a guy, it's completely different, because you gotta understand, when guys go out, women don't approach them. Women can't sexually assault them, stuff like that. I understand to a degree. Women do look at it like, oh, but what if you're the one that's out there pursuing other women while I'm not around? Understandable. Most definitely to agree. But you have to understand, a lot of times he ain't really gonna be all that successful. That's just kind of the way that goes. Like, his success rate and your success rate aren't the same. You know what I mean? So, let's see. I'm looking for one more here. This one, I think a lot of people need to understand. Playing hard to get. Yes. Most of the time, the guy will just move on. Yeah. I don't know if that's still a thing that girls try to do, is like play hard to get. But if I'm being honest with you, playing hard to get is probably one of the most unattractive things for a guy. Because we look at it like, okay, you're clearly showing us that you're not interested. Peace and chicken grease. And then it gets annoying because, when we do date someone else or when we do show interest in someone else, then the girl will come around and be like, oh, well, I used to have a crush on you. And it's like, bitch, the fuck? What do you mean? You used to? You're telling me when I had a crush on you, you had a crush on me? Like, fuck we're doing? We could have just been together. Instead, you want to play these fucking games and do all this bullshit. Like I said, I don't know if women still do that. I have no idea, but if I'm being honest with you, if you're a woman out there that does that, just don't. If you have interest in a dude, just show that interest. You know what I mean? Just show it. That's the easiest thing you can do, is just show that interest, because hey, you never know. I mean, look at it like this. It's easier for a girl to show interest and actually get a positive response than it is for a guy to show interest and get a positive response. And that's why I don't get why more women don't really talk to or go for the guys that they want, because it's like, your success rate is a lot higher than mine is. If I were to go up to you, show interest and want to be with you, my success rate is so low. I maybe will start at like a 10% success rate, and you'll talk to me and see if I can raise that success rate up. But for a girl going up to a guy, the success rate starts at 90. And honestly, you don't even have to be like all that attractive. You could just be like fucking average, if I'm being honest with you. And the dude will still be like, 98% success rate. Come on, girl, what we doing? And so a lot of times it's like, you don't have to play hard to get. You really don't. A lot of girls think like, oh, I don't want to be thought of as easy and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, I'm being honest with you, no guy thinks that. No guy thinks like, oh man, she was fucking easy, bro. All she wanted. No. A lot of guys don't think that way. They just don't. A lot of guys don't think of a girl as easy, especially if she's showing attraction in the right way. And she's not just making it out like, she's a hoe and does this all the time. Yeah, it's one of those things where if it's like, if you initiate the conversation, you put in ample effort to keep the conversation going, say you ask for like his Instagram or his number or whatever the case may be. If you put enough interest in, he'll ask for the Instagram and number and stuff. But anyway, it's just one of those things where it's like, show enough interest and you show it in the right ways, and you do it very subtly and you do it very nice and stuff. A lot of times a guy is going to look at that and be like, wow, this girl's actually really dope, this girl's actually really cool, I'm going to keep talking to her, I'm going to keep getting to know her, blah blah blah. Like, guys just don't do that. Guys don't look at women as, oh, she was easy. They just don't. Even some of the like douchier dudes don't even really look at a girl as easy. A lot of times, if even like the whole sex on the first date kind of thing, I think it depends on how the date flows. Like, if the date is going well and everything's clicking and you guys are going really well and everything's smooth, have sex on the first date. I see nothing wrong with that. I wouldn't think a girl is easy, and I think there's a lot of guys out there that wouldn't think a girl is easy for having sex on the first date if the date is flowing perfect. Like if you guys are just having bomb conversation, he pays for the date, picks you up, etiquette's right, you're attracted to him as much as he's attracted to you, and everything's working out, all that. Why play hard to get? There's no point. Do your thing. You know what I mean? Test drive that car before you buy. Like, that's all I'm saying. So that's going to go ahead and wrap up today's episode. Today was a very interesting episode. It was a nice little flip on the previous episode of what women wanted to hear, something like that. I think it was men. Pretty much it was just what women want to really tell men, and this one was what men really want to tell women. So it was a good little spin. It was nice to kind of see the other side of it. So if you haven't seen that one, do go watch that. That's literally going to be the previous episode to this one. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Please get that engagement up. I would love to see more engagement on this channel. If you guys don't have a full or time for a full episode, no problem. I do all of the clips on Instagram and TikTok at Am I the Asshole Podcast. If you guys are watching the shit out of these episodes and you want more, go ahead and subscribe to Patreon. It's $3 a month. You get exclusive episodes over there. So not only do you get the free content over here, you get 2 episodes a week, but you also get an extra episode on Patreon, $3 a month. It's super lit. I hope, and in the future, I'm gonna go ahead and add extra stuff on there. But for right now, it's just $3 a month for extra episodes. And love you guys, and I will see you later. Peace.